And welcome to Type 2 Take 2, your diabetes and health center podcast, where we stick our noses where they don't belong. Like, why do I have to continue paying taxes? Okay. No, we look at the health in our we look at our health and we ask the questions that normally don't get answered, or if they do, they're usually stuck with, oh, it's in between your ears. Now, that's not a good answer, is it? It isn't. So we stick our noses where they don't belong to get to the answer of why. Why are these things occurring in our bodies? And today is no different. We're going to discuss a plethora of things. Stay tuned. Now, first for some chit chat. Oh, okay. Well, today is a beautiful rainy day, and it's suited for this season. So, well, good job, Earth. And yeah, I really don't have too much to say about today, or this week. It's actually been very calm, and I am glad about that. The fact of the matter is, I've been enjoying somewhat this weather, and it's more than okay. Some other forms of chit chat. I have a friend who is working towards building her company, Lori Barnett, and it's with iCare Virtual Services. Now, it's virtual assistants, or virtual coaching, either and both. That's what she's doing. And she was really cool to share my Reset Bootcamp on her page, and I thought that was so cool. Yeah, I know this is really for real, this chit chat, because I thought it was so cool. It made me feel so good. Not only that, but I did get someone who registered already for the 50% discount, because as of December 1st, it is no longer a discount. It is the actual price of 99 euros, which still isn't bad at all. It's actually quite cheap. But back to the chit chat. It was so exciting to see that somebody was willing to help out a small business. I know we're friends and everything, but that's besides the point. When you help out a small business, you're helping your community. I know it may be that the community is internet wide and whatever, or maybe you're helping out somebody that is perhaps on the other side of the world, such as myself, if you are not in Europe. But it makes a big difference to them, because you're actually helping a small business as opposed to contributing to the monopoly. Yes, that's my 2 cents. But in any case, yeah, so I really want to say, that was really exciting. I'm really happy about that. So that's the chit chat. Somebody, more than somebody, I'm getting questions, I'm getting queries and things. But remember that the registration for the boot camp, the early bird special registration, that ended. So now it's at its price of €100. 99, 100, 99, 100. It's 99. It's 99 euro. So, which is such a great deal still. I'll talk about that later. But for now, yeah, isn't that cool? When somebody supports you and they like really put their hand on your back and say, I got you. I got you. It feels really good. It makes you put a little more faith in the system, in the humanity system. So, okay, so updates. About the updates. Like I said, the holiday whole body reset bootcamp is in flow. It is in flow for registration. It's in registration flow. It starts January the 3rd. So that gives you time, if you have been overindulging to get the things out of the kitchen that have been maybe knocking you down and maybe not knocking you down. No food guilt. Remember, I'm all about the no food guilt. We don't do that. There's no point. All food was made and prepared. I'm not talking about all that stuff that... I was saying all food was made and prepared. Okay, the food that was given to us, that was gifted to us by the earth, by God, and is produced by the earth, that's a little bit different than the food that we are manufacturing in food that we are manufacturing in plants and in, well, all those things. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't, I don't want to say treat, because those are not necessarily treats. Those are just what they are, right? It's the 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule, however you want to say it. If you're gonna add some things to your overall food plan, then you do. But the whole point is no food guilt. No food guilt. And no crap guilt either. Because sometimes we just eat what we want to eat because it tastes good. And that's it. And it has no nutritional value whatsoever. Because it's been stripped. And that's what it is. I mean, I can't change that. I can't make that up. It's been proven and tested and scientifically backed. Real science, people. Real science. So it's all been tested and it's proven that they have no nutritional value. But if you just want to eat it for the sake of eating it because it tastes good, because it tastes good, because it tastes good, because it tastes good, then at least with the Reset Bootcamp, you can reset your whole body, help yourself clear out the inflammation, help to drop some of the weight loss, the weight rather, not the loss. You don't want to drop weight loss. You want to drop the weight. And that is beneficial to you. That is beneficial to your joints. That is beneficial to being able to get up, stand up, so you're not having to pull yourself up. Inflammation, I hope you listened to the podcast. I believe it was episode 26. And it's the pros and cons of inflammation. And there are a lot of pros to inflammation. But dude, if you taint your inflammation, if you give it a bad influence, well, chronic spiking inflammation. I love it because one of my mentors, he doesn't know it, it probably does. Dr. Stephen Cabral, he said inflammaging. Oh my gosh, can you hashtag that? Hashtag inflammaging. Because when you are full of inflammation, your cells break down. When your cells are breaking down, you are becoming, you age more quickly. Is that proper English? More quickly. You age quicker. Okay, one of those will work. And if not, somebody's going to tell me. But that's the update. The boot camp is in full swing registration. It is, as of December 1st, 99 euros for registration. But it's more than just, weight loss. It is learning how to detoxify your body. It's learning how to rest. You're learning how to, implement some exercise if you want to. It's a benefit to your body and to your lymph fluid if you do. And it helps you to get more energy. Oh, you gotta exercise. It makes me tired. If I'm tired, how am I gonna have more energy? Believe me, it works. It works. It works. I'm not a personal trainer, but it works. Okay. So that's just to name a few things. I mean, I can go on and on, but as it is, I'm already hitting about 5 minutes on just updates. So, so I'm gonna leave it at that. And I just want to suggest, encourage you to sign up, to register for the whole body after the holidays reset bootcamp. It's like, why not? Why not? You're going to learn so much. These tools you'll be able to take with you afterwards. If you never want to see my face again, then you don't have to. But I'd love it if you did. Okay, so that's updates. All right, guys. Now let's talk setbacks. Oh, setbacks. Sometimes the feelings hurt when it's setbacks, right? The feelings are... Yeah. I can't believe it. I had a setback. But it's not the end of the world. Setbacks don't mean the end of the world. I mean, unless you are the one who pressed the button. And you're not. You are not the person who presses the button for the end of the world. Sorry, you are very important. You are very special, but you are not that important. That only goes to one person. And, yeah, nobody knows when that's going to be. But, setbacks. Yeah. I have my own little setbacks. I mean, if I count on my hands how many setbacks I actually encountered, I don't know. I don't know. But I think I will swing because there are so many things you can have setbacks on, right? It's not always weight. It's not always WEIGHT. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's spiritual, sometimes it is job wise. But dude, I'm not gonna get into my job with y'all. My job. This is okay, so I am an integrative health practitioner, level 1, right? I don't consider that my job. I consider that my passion, even though I get paid for my passion. But I'm talking about my job. So I would never talk about my job with y'all because there are privacy concerns, right? Right. But let's talk setbacks. Like I said, you can count it all over the place, even familial. Let's talk Thanksgiving, y'all. Thanksgiving was different this year, even compared to last year. Even though last year it was, I would say that the C word rules were changed a bit, and they were more hefty on our feelings and who we could and could not have around and all this stuff. It was kind of still okay for us to have like 3 people in the house besides children, because children were considered what's the word? They weren't as dangerous. Dangerous. But now, this Thanksgiving, which I enjoyed with my family here up close and personal, the 3 of us, and we loved it, and we loved each other. But we didn't get to. Okay. I'll say this part, and then I'll give you the upswing. We didn't have anybody over this year. Like seriously, we didn't have anybody over, and it was because I think it was just about the same time that we got the new press conference that talked about how bad the C word had gotten, and how we were going to have to slow things down and all those things. But that doesn't really stop anybody, really. I mean, if you really think about it, but we take it seriously. We try to, be as responsible as human rightly possible. And so, yeah, we didn't have anybody over. But the upswing was, because I know, I said it was a setback. But it was only a setback emotionally, because it was kind of disappointing to not have people over and share with the goodness. The normal people that we normally have over every Thanksgiving wasn't... we didn't even invite them. I think they didn't even realize. And normally I say, hey, we're going to have Thanksgiving. You're coming, right? And they're like, yeah, we're coming. This weird American holiday. Cool. Yeah, we'll be there. But this year, that just wasn't it. And that's cool. But the upswing was that I got to see my little niece's face as she was on Facebook Messenger with us. And we were discussing what we were going to eat and all of those things. And she like oohed and awed and chided over how many pies we had prepared and all the things. And another upswing. We didn't buy turkey. That's somewhat of a downswing, but not really, because it's just the 3 of us. And honestly, we could have prepared it and refrigerated it and do like we always do. It's not like we sit there and waste it. Like, oh, we're just going to eat this for one day. Nah, man, you make soup, you make bouillon, you make all kinds. You make enchiladas, you make tostadas, you make tacos, you make, omelet, turkey omelets. I mean, it's just one big animal that you get to eat, and it spreads over days as opposed to only buying enough for whatever. So, whatever. Anyway, sorry. But anyway, we had a chicken, and Renee dressed the chicken, and oh my word, it was so delicious. And it was so, I mean, I put it in the oven, so I watched the temperature and stuff like that. But so the skin was crispy because I cooked it on one side and I flipped it over. I cooked it on the other on a rack. so that the heat gets to both sides and it's not soggy. But it was delicious and it was so good. And like I said, we got to see our beautiful nieces, all, and then my sister and my brother-in-law, and Lydia for the first time made bean pie. Yes, bean pie. And she made her own what's that thing called? Condensed milk. She made her own condensed milk. So we were on it. So yeah, there was some there was some setbacks. I guess you could call that in the mental emotional department. But then it all came back together. So cool, right? I know. Okay, so encouragement and motivation. I would love to encourage you all to take this time, this holiday time. Some of you are in the holiday spirit, and some of you are not. And I understand. There are a lot of things that occur during the holidays that could possibly be triggering you to have negative thought patterns or negative feelings about it. Well, I just want to encourage you to find the positive. Find the positive. Oh my gosh, everyone's coming to find the positive. You be positive, right? I don't got time to be positive. Find the positive. Do your best. If not for you, parents, do it for your kids. And it's just like, oh my gosh, everybody says to do it for my kids, but I need healing. Well, do that too. Get the healing. Get the healing. Look back at what made that holiday or this time of year or whatever so negative for you, or whatever the case is, and embrace the good things that happened in that time, even if there were negative things in it, and give yourself a new memory. Give yourself a new memory of this holiday season. For me, it was the death of my mom. To be honest, Thanksgiving was the last good holiday that I had with my mom. Thanksgiving, the last good holiday. I was 14 when she passed. So maybe that's why I love and enjoy Thanksgiving so much. It has nothing to do with the food. The food is delicious. I love the food. And I could probably talk more about the food than anything, but I was thinking back on it while I was riding my bike, as I do. And I was trying to figure out, not trying to figure out, but it just came to me because that's the way things happen. When you pray and you meditate and you give thanks and you're grateful, then answers come to you because, you are seeking God's face, or you're seeking to be more enlightened, to be more advised, to be more aware of who you are, why you tick, and all those things. So, as I was riding my bike, that occurred to me that Thanksgiving was the last holiday in which I got to spend with my mom. So maybe that's why I have an upswing always on Thanksgiving. Maybe. I feel like it is. Because soon after comes the downswing, and that's Christmas. Because she died before Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So the whole connection, like the season of fall, fall is my favorite season. That could be connected to her being alive still during that time. And then shortly after, even though Christmas, I celebrate the birth the birth of Jesus Christ and the gift that he gave, coming down on this crazy old earth to 33, so many years later, be sacrificed for us so that way we can have hope of redemption. For me, that is beautiful, and I embrace it and I love it. But what actually occurs is I get down. Some people have seasonal, what's it called? SAD? Seasonal, oh my goodness. I don't know, but I know the acronym is SAD. But it has to do with being seasonally depressed. And perhaps, maybe that occurs for some reasons that are connected. Trauma will follow you until you break that cycle. And death is a trauma to anybody. If you loved the person, even if you didn't love the person, Uh, but if you were connected to them, if you're bonded to them, I mean, it's a trauma. It could be a big T trauma or it could be a small T trauma. It could be a traumatic event or it could be traumatizing. Okay. So anyway, this is supposed to be encouraging. So I want to encourage you. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I want to encourage you to find those good parts in the time that you felt that was so traumatic, and give it a good experience. Give yourself a good experience. Give yourself a good memory to be connected to it. Change the story. Change the story. Christmas is, for me, slightly depressing. More, it's hard for me to get the jollies and dress a tree and all that stuff. But of course, the tree had something to do with me personally. That's personal thoughts and on things. But just to get happy and all that. My sister told me once, like, even if you can't do it for yourself, you gotta do it for the kids. And I said, that's true. And at the time, I don't know if I was there mentally and emotionally to receive it, but I am now. And last year, we started something to change the story, to change the thought, to change the process, to change the feeling. And we got candles and we lit them for those that we loved for Christmas, and that was important. And it was, during Christmas, I want to say Christmas Eve, all the way until, because there are 2 days of Christmas here. So I think that was the case. But it was the fact that I decided to take the negative and make it a positive. And that's something you can do too. So I want to encourage you to take those negative things, those negative memories, those things that are connected. The negative memories will always be connected to things that occur, right? Situations. But you can look at the situation that you were in before and then make a positive memory and let yourself have a positive, and then remind yourself every day in every way you're getting better and better. Just like just like Stephen Cabral says, he walked around 20 times, he would say it in different inflections and different rhythms and whatever to get the point across, because maybe you're just sick. Maybe you're tired. Maybe it's all of those things. Well, tell yourself. It's not lying to yourself. It's reminding your brain that you are getting better and better. Because if you keep on telling yourself you're sick, then you're going to get sick. Your body will remain sick because that's what it does. Your brain is only doing what you are telling it to do. And it's kind of weird, right? Because, okay, well, who controls the brain? I thought my brain was doing all the thinking. No, that's your spirit. That's the spirit. That's why spirituality is very important. All right. So, the last, health. I know we did a lot of mental health. We do a lot of mental health. We do a lot of spiritual health. I don't really push too hard on spiritual health, like specific spiritual health, but I do push on spiritual health. But we do a lot of mental health and emotional health, and that's very important. As a matter of fact, our last podcast, we had Elise Cerda on, and she was doling out the benefits of being emotionally balanced, being mentally balanced. Mental health is very important. So I know I talk a lot about that health, but I also talk about diabetes, and I talk about inflammation. I talk about inflammation a lot. But there's reasons. There are reasons for this. The reasons are very important. It's something that you shouldn't take for granted. But that's something I'll get more into as we go by. But inflammation is important. It's good stuff. En it's the stuff that invloed. Ik wil altijd invloed zeggen. I want to keep on saying invloed. Invloed means influence, so it's the same thing. But sometimes, okay, guys, let me apologize really quick. Sometimes I think in pictures. I guess I think in pictures. I don't know. Sometimes I don't even think about what I'm going to say, and I just say it. But I would say maybe 30% of my brain is dedicated to Dutch. And when I am in the midst of Dutch-speaking people, it's I find myself stuck, not being able to pull English words out. So there we have it. Okay, that's how it was when I was studying French, and because I enveloped myself in the French culture and the language and everything, because I loved it. I still do. But guess what? I can't remember a lot of my French, even though I studied it for 7 years, because I've brought I brought Dutch into my brain at such a hardcore volume that something had to give, something had to push. Yeah, I know you can stretch out your brain a little bit more and make room, but I didn't. I said Dutch. Het Nederlands. And I'm still not great at it. So what do you think about that? Oh, well, I've been studying Dutch. This is completely off topic, but we'll get there. I've been studying Dutch since before I realized that I was going to marry my husband, because I wanted to get to know his parents. And I thought the only way I would be able to do that and be able to speak to them well was, they spoke English, but to speak to them well was to speak in Dutch. And so I chose to make that a point, because they're beautiful people. They're beautiful people. So I think I can come back from that somehow. Anyhow, health? Yeah, health. So, I guess since we're talking about the inflammation and seasonals and things like that, as far as being mentally, emotionally, physically healthy, there are times when we are not, and there are times when it just doesn't make sense what we're doing in our lives. Like, okay, I know, like, I've talked to some people, and they're like, I know that this is what I need to do. I even talked to myself. I look in the mirror and like, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Why aren't you doing it? Because sometimes you have to break some thought patterns. Sometimes you have to go back. So let me go back, and then I'll come back forward. I know that sometimes we know what we need to do, and we don't do it. I know sometimes we are exposed to things that we need to do, and sometimes we train ourselves in the things that we need to do, and we still don't do it. And the reason, I don't know why. Well, actually, I do, because I've learned about that in the Integrative Health Practitioning course. And really, it has a lot to do with, it has a whole lot to do with having the expectation of going forward, of actually completing what you want to do, seeing yourself completing the task, believing that you're going to complete the task, seeing yourself completing the task, feeling yourself completing the task, and then you can achieve the task. But sometimes we forget that we believe in ourselves. Sometimes we forget that we believe in ourselves. And that's not to say that we don't believe in God. It's that we forget to believe in ourselves too. You know, we go throughout the day and we are just doing life, right? Doing life. It's easy to just do life. It is, because that's on auto. You're on auto. You've already dug your paths. You already scraped your way. You already done everything that you're supposed to do. And so now you've got this dug in path that you walk on all the time. And that's, you could do it with your eyes closed. I'm here. I'm there. Eyes closed. Grab the coffee. Get the cereal. Keto cereal. Low carb cereal. That's a different topic. But you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing because you're used to doing the thing. You are on autopilot. You just do it. But what happens when you are trying to change? You're trying to change a habit. You're trying to change a process. You are trying to make better decisions. You're trying to do better. Because sometimes before you do better, you wind up doing worse. And then you start, if you are not prepared, you start kicking yourself. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I ruined it again. I never do anything right. Sure. You're never going to do anything right if you keep on telling yourself you never do anything right, because then your brain hears you, spirit, because you are a spirit living in that body of yours. I wanted to say that meat sack. That's weird and gross. You are a spirit living in that meat sack. And you have all these impulses. And so, oh man, we are so amazingly made. I just thought about that right now. It's just like, wow, it just hit me again. And it's going to continue to hit me. And I hope it hits you too, because you are amazingly made. And you are so wonderfully created. You were made to be exactly who you are supposed to be. And then you have sometimes things get in our way that push us off track or off path. And so, or things that, you know, make us focus a little harder on what we are, which weren't actually expectations or what we didn't expect. Sometimes we get distracted. That's the word. Afleiden. Sometimes we get distracted. Okay, so what happens when you get distracted? Well, sometimes you forget what you're doing, what you want to do, who you want to be. Sometimes you start following just the crowd because it's easier. It sucks. But it doesn't have to, because you're not dead yet, which means you can change. I know they say you can't teach old dogs new tricks, but guess what? You're not a dog. If you are listening to this, if you tapped on play, you're probably not a dog. Or for those of you who say, yeah, of course you're not a dog, because only cats can do that. You're not a cat either, okay? You are a human being. It's good for human being. But really, you have these neural pathways there are these pathways that are trained into your brain, just like a path. Just like a pathway, like a path. That sounds really just like what I just said. There is pretty much a trench that you've walked yourself in for a long time. But just because the trench is there doesn't mean that you can't get out of it. It means you have to start digging a new path. And just like I said, digging, you have to dig because you have trained your body to react certain ways, and you have accepted you possibly accepted some negativity in your life and accepted it as truth when it wasn't. And you've possibly and most likely have been trained to feel negative about yourself or your feelings or whatever, whatever the case was, that keeps you from being positive about your reactions, about your changes, about what you're trying to do. So this is your mental health check. Your mental health break. Break. Really though, guys, the fact is, it is very easy. It is very easy to get distracted and walk off of your lightly packed path and get rerouted to something that's not necessarily you, that does not give you the positivity that you need. And believe me, positivity is not a bad thing. I know I used to think this. Look, I used to be that person that said, oh my gosh, yes, think positive. Oh yeah, okay, I'm going to be positive. Here I go. But it's true. Even the Bible, like that's for me, that's the first and the last word anyway. But for those of you who are skeptical, even the Bible says to think positive, whatever is good, whatever is beautiful, whatever is kind. If there's any greatness in it or whatever, if there's a good report, think on these things. Now, if you want to read where it actually says Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Yeah, in the Bible. So even God, the Creator, says to think positive. That should say a lot, because if he created you and he's telling you to think positive, that probably means that there's something about that that's important to you, that's pertinent to you. So going back to not being able to accomplish the things that you're wanting to accomplish, we got to get back to the point where we're saying, not, I can't do this, or, I keep on messing up, or I can't believe that I will never, and we need to flip the script. We need to flip the thought patterns. We need to change. We need to start carving. And once we start carving that new pathway, once we start carving that new thought pattern, instead of, look, I know that it's not going to be snap and that's it. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. It's not going to be so easy. I know it's not going to be easy. It wasn't easy for me, man. I was like, man, here I go again. But I was always optimistic. But I always said, well, I always said, let's expect the worst and hope for the best. I'm gonna leave you with that one. I'll dive. I'm gonna go a little bit further, but that's where we're gonna end it, so that way you can understand. I'm 39 right now. There are a lot of things in my life that I wanted to accomplish in the back of my head that I never did, because I expected the worst and I hoped for the best. So instead of expecting the best and hoping for the best, what I expected is what I got. What you expect is what you're going to get, because that's what you're going to put your energy into. You're not going to put your energy in the things that you're hoping for, because you're already telling yourself that it's going to be bad. Expect the worst and hope for the best. It's like the worst is like big in your brain, and best is like this itty bitty tiny little thing on the ground that you can't even see it really, because you're already looking for the worst. That's what you're looking for. It's time to look for the best. So that is our health segment today. And yeah, if you want to liken that to inflammation, here, let's go ahead and link this up really quick. Inflammation. Inflammation is a great, beautiful, and wonderful thing that helps to protect you, heal you, and make you whole once again. But if inflammation is influenced by negative things such as oxidized seed oils, for example, an overabundance of sugar. Overabundance, not sugar. Overabundance. Your body knows what an overabundance is for itself, for its life. Yeah. Okay. Stress. If any of these negative influences come knocking on inflammation's door, and you let it hang out there, then inflammation, the good guy, the great guy, the one that's supposed to be healing, helping you, becomes the bad guy, the one that keeps you from losing weight, but worst of all, keeps you from healing, because it becomes poisoned. So just like that, just like all the good things and the good thoughts, the things that could happen that you have, if you allow those negative influences to come into your life and you let them stay there, or if you let something bad happen and you don't address it, or if you let, ideas come through your mind, or people come and dig a trench for you that you were not walking, and then you start redirecting yourself that way, then what was supposed to be a great, beautiful, healed thing is now under attack. I don't want to say you're damaged. I just want to say that you need healing once again. You need to kick all that bad stuff back out. You need to kick all the bad thoughts, the bad people, the toxicities. You need to implement some health, some nutrition, help yourself. So that's that. Thank you so much for joining me here at Type2Take2. I really hope that this holiday season, even if it brings some sadness to you, you can dig deep and find the happy places, the happy things, the positive things. And even if you have to create memories, create those memories. Create them, and then continue to layer upon them with more great memories and more great memories. And if there's nothing you can do, if you are poor, if you don't have the money to do this, that, or the other, well, good night. Stop telling yourself you don't and start saying you do. Start being positive. You can. You will. You will do. This is for you. This is for me. This is for everybody. Again, thanks. I almost got on a rant, so good thing. I almost got on a rant there. But I just want to say, honestly, that I love you all. And I used to think, oh, you guys are fake, you YouTubers who walk around and say, I love you. And this is not coming from a YouTube perspective, but it will be on YouTube. But I love you all. I love you people. And I just really want to see y'all healed from inside out. So, peace out. And you will hear from me next Wednesday. Bye.